I feel like I'm a little ahead of the curve because like all the other YouTubers are actually getting caught up on the whole Akash situation about like whatever what he said, what his wife said in response, and like all the other bullshit in the background and stuff. And like I don't know why I feel like special because like I forget which YouTube channel. Here at Azure News, we try our best to well, I try my best to maintain a journalistic standard. What standard that is? Better something than nothing type of shit. You know what I mean? Better nothing than something. So I watched the video. It's pretty recent and pretty brand new about Akash going back to India, and it's like, wow, nobody else like clowned them for that. Oh shit, man. Oh shit. But I remember. I was like, damn, I watch a lot of YouTube, dude. I watch a motherfucking lot of YouTube. But ladies and gentlemen, happy Sunday. Like, I hope you are doing well because we got to get into it. And I do mean into it permanently. Like, this is something that is a lot like ripping off the band-aid from a wound. You gotta do it like really fast, and it's gonna sting a little bit. But we have, when I say we, I mean the governments with the profit incentives of capitalist corporations to nickel and dime people allowed in an irreparable damaging amount of people into the country. And the reason why I say this is that a stat Canada came out and they're like doing a survey on people who visit the hospital, and get this, in Ontario, just Ontario, the province of Ontario, right? 500,000 people went to the hospital and could not see a doctor. Yeah, 500,000. So, like, yeah, there are millions of Indians, and they're also, well, Punjabis, Sikh, Pakistani specifically. And not only are they very heavily invested into like pedophilia, child porn, all that like bad stuff. Fuck, I can't even find the video. Shit, man. But like they form gangs, they sell drugs, they try to finance their sick nature, and they're cowards through and through, right? And I have to make this video because their shame, the specific shame I'm referring to, is the one that we have here in Canada, specifically Ontario. I don't actually know if the premier can get the entire country to make the sex predator registry available. It's called RSO. Wait, what the fuck does that stand for? Offender, right? Registered sex offender. Yeah, 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 yeah. So people who have RSOs, they'll be like public knowledge, right? And rightfully so, because it's more of a danger to just have them like lurking in our society rather than to address the problem and like isolate yourself from them, understand like their demeanor, their dispositions, this, that. And like, a lot of stuff is popping off. Like there's this next guy in like I think Chicago, he set this woman on fire unprovoked and stuff. Again another repeat offender who's like, literally clinically insane, but like they flooded the entire world with people like this. Like not only criminally like insane people, but like people from cultures that are criminal, for lack of a better term, right? So, oh, oh yeah, shout outs to down,
Oh,
down,
spicy,
down, 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 down. Shout outs to Fawcett. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Faucette Media. Shout out to my man for bringing this to light because, he goes back to India, right? To try to like, fade, my guy. Like, what are you trying to do? You're trying to like pretend like it never fucking happened. You're trying to pretend like you can't like, own up to your shit. And I love how like, and I commented on this before. I love how, and like, I think most friends would do this like as a natural reaction, regardless of whether it's a good idea or not. But how they literally had his back, basically. Like they fucking what do you call it? Said that he's a good guy, that he wouldn't like say like bad things or do these things to other people if he knew. No, he would, and I can't believe I missed it. So he was sitting next to Andrew, and he was talking to some these two guys. Like one guy had like a baseball cap and stuff, and I don't know how the conversation started because it was just like a clip. I think it was like a YouTube Shorts or something I was watching, and he's like, no, Andrews to this guy. He's like, so your wife or your girlfriend, whatever, has like 3 times the body count that you have, and it's like, and everyone's like, whoa, hey, and then guess who jumps in? Fucking a cash ATM. Fucking jumps in, and he's like, yeah, he's like gassing Andrew up, and he's like calling this guy a cock, and I was like, wow, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? And it's just like, the hypocrisy is just like rife, where people who often want to judge you and want you to suffer, the consequences of like, whatever action. So like, let's take the grooming gangs and like all this pedophile charges that are coming out of the UK and stuff. So they form a majority by like, living all next to each other. Like I have a neighbor, and I don't know who lived at this corner house before, but he made sure that his like, I don't know, like his sister's like his wife's sister or whatever came there to live with her fucking retard ass family and shit. And it's just like, yeah, you guys are just trying to like make sure that like pretty much everybody else moves up, so it's just you Sikhs and shit, so you can grab some like random ass drunk girl, take her back to your house and fucking gang rape her. And me saying this, it must sound like really fucking messed up and shit, but this is it's the reality, dude. This is the reality of the life we're living. Like the idea that you can trust a Sikh guy because he puts on a fucking police uniform or a security officer badge or whatever. No, man. Keep your head on a fucking swivel, man. You can't trust any of these fuckers. You feel me? And the reason why I can say this is that this guy got 4 years for not only raping a girl, but like abusing her, doing all these things. And I think the reason why he got such a lenient charge is because, right, like I said before, they want to become a majority, so they like cover for each other. He has his like little cousin basically implicating this like minor, his classmate. Oh, she wanted it. She consented to the fucking sexual abuse and this and that. Yeah, but like it's like the Kanon's Fred said. Like, yeah, you think you could consent, but we were all kids back then. It's just when you hear him say it and you understand the context, so you look at this young man's like face, his eyes. He's really young looking. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this happened, in their high school era, right? But that wasn't that long ago, at least in their perspective, right? So it's almost as if like he did something that is like an egregious affront to a pure relationship, right? Like, you don't have to be friends with everybody in your class and everybody your own age and stuff, but you have this like, um, I wouldn't say bias, but this uh, unvocal loyalty to them because it's like you'd want people in your own age group to, be on your side and vice versa, right? So for him to just turn on, pretty much all of his classmates and shun himself from the greater part of society forever means only one thing and one thing alone. Like they don't care about whether or not they rape kids. They don't care whether or not they're raping women and this and that and forcing them to get tattoos and bringing a gun to school to intimidate 10, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. They graduate when they're 15. That's like, what the fuck? And like, oh, I left this part out, by the way. Um, so this Jaskaran guy, this Sikh pedophile fuck, and he calls himself a dangerous sexual predator. So I'm allowed to like be as robust with my language as I should and could because it's you know if he's gonna come out with something that implicates him and makes him out to be way worse than any insult that I could throw his way, like why should I have any discretion when throwing out mannerisms, labels, all this stuff? He calls himself a dangerous sexual predator. It's fucking. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what the BBC called him, and then the BBC got paid off, and now they don't remember. They don't remember how the Sikhs fucking gang raped a bunch of kids in Huddersfield, and ran the largest grooming gang in all of the United Kingdom. And not only did they run the largest grooming gang in all of the United Kingdom, this Amir Dhaliwal, right? He had his own wife and kids. He had his own family while he was raping these little kids. You understand? So like, if Jaskar, gets arranged marriage or gets kids of his own, he's still gonna be doing the shit that he's doing unless like everybody, not just me, everybody starts pointing this shit out. And not just in a little way. Do it permanently. Do not allow them any form of discretion or grievances against you. Do not accept any form of mercy or nothing against them. Remember, people's children are on the line, and they are not only willing to rape them, they're willing to get their family members to rape them. And worse yet, right? Oh, by the way, I got the name wrong. The individual who made the documentary's name is Kanon. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I had to clear that up because there was another part of the documentary that it touched on, like a little bit of you know um like a point, and it was just like to bash the Sikhs, the Pakis, about how they like to cousin sexual whatever's right. And then it dawned on me the reason why I brought that up, because when I rewatched the documentary from Ganon, he said it. So in the docket, I think the court case, there was a family member that was also sexually abused by Jaskarn and his younger cousin, whatever, right? And that was also in the charges. So that's why if you're only gonna get 4 years for basically ruining God knows how many people's lives and stuff, because it's like it's not just the girl, it's also her family, her siblings, you know what I mean, her close friends and associates. He was even telling me, like, Kanon's friend, sorry, not telling me, it was like in the video, he was saying how the school is set up in this weird way where it's very transparent. Like there's windows pretty much everywhere. So she's in the office like crying her eyes out, and then everybody comes into school. They're all dressed in like they have their uniforms and stuff, and they all see her just like crying in the principal's office. And yeah, after a while, like they had like these letters getting sent out, like, yeah, there's this pedophile, call the cops if you see him like, in school grounds, this and that. And like it didn't click for them because they're just kids. Like you know what I mean? Like fuck. I can't even remember how I was like when I was 14, 15 years old. I was so fucking hyper, and I was just like everything was like a blur. I was eating so much sugar, my metabolism was like crazy. I was getting pimples, and like yeah, like life is a blur sometimes. Like yeah, I had like a lot of hardships and stuff. I remember getting rejected by a bunch of girls, and I didn't do so well in my grades, but right, like I didn't have my friends getting fucking picked up and sexually assaulted by some fucking emaciated fucking druggy ass bitch getting covered by his Sikh family and shit. And don't pretend that like yo they didn't cover for him, and they paid for his court cases, they paid for his fucking ride, they paid for his fucking gun, they cover for him, his family members cover for him. Like if it was me and then like my family and I go to court, they're gonna bury me, man. And they're no, they're not gonna bury me. Sorry, they're gonna bury me in the courtroom. They'd be like, "Your Honor, we're sorry for wasting taxpayer money. Let's just like figure this shit out right now." And they're just gonna start digging a hole. Because it's like, yo, who the fuck does that, man? Like, I'm not trying to say like I'm Mr. Girl getting man. Like I'm good at talking with girls. In fact, if anything, I'm terrible at it. But there comes a difference between talking to someone who you think is like your intellectual like equal, and then like wanting to be a girl's first. Like you want to be a girl's take her virginity because your life is so wretchedly pathetic, and you're so ugly, and nobody loved you. Like this is how it worked out for you. Like I wouldn't put it by me that Jaskarn didn't go to the prom with his like classmates and shit, and just like whatever, just fucked off, and like people his own age, because he's my age, right? His own age, just like shunned them and this and that. But we have to talk about like this sexual RSO registry getting aired out, because I don't think it's going to pass because of the Pakistanis and the Sikhs. A lot of their names are going to be brought up Because back in the day, there were guys that went out vigilantes, right? I used to be subscribed to one YouTuber, right? And they would just set up these guys, and they would take the bait so easily. Now you can say you feel about that one way or the other, but one thing cannot be denied about that is that if um they somehow made contact with a girl and like she I don't know, she's just naive or from an abusive family or she just wants to have fun or she thinks that she can get a one up on them. Like this is a very troubling and terrible type of I guess realization, right? Because people are literally coming in the country 1, 2, 3 weeks, and then it takes me to this different perspective. So what's it like back in their country, right? Like, are girls like this? And if you look at the behavior of Jaslene, and then growing up, I've dealt with brown girls who are also like this. And I'm not trying to assume that every single member of their race, religion, whatever is like this, but it's very common. It's almost to be expected. Like their women are garbage, they're trash. They don't understand the value of being modest, of being humble, of being capable. They're basically vapid. And this vapid excuse of a woman has manipulated this bitch of a man to, like, toss the turban on, go to the Golden Temple, and try to prove everybody wrong about the Indians. Well, we're not like those shit tossing Indians. We're the cleaner, child raping Indians that, like, use lots of money and lobby your government to allow, like, an unlimited amount of people to enter into a country. So that's your hospital. Well, because in Canada we have healthcare, so that's why, sometimes, well, a lot of times, like like I'm scared about going to the hospital. I'm scared if my parents go to the hospital. You feel me? Like there's a chance, a high chance actually, that my family will not see a doctor. That's beyond messed up. And so like they're gonna fight tooth and nail to have this RSO like list kept off the records, on like out of the public domain. And that's why we, as people, citizens, you have to take uh, a stand. You have to do your part to protect children. It sucks because I know you don't want to do it. Me neither. It's not my kids, but if you don't, then they will.